What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Cash It. I'm Howard Bender. Adam Ronis here by my side. What's going on, Adam? It's NFL Week 15. How'd last week treat you? You know, we do these shows now. It's like we do them weekly instead of the daily show. So it's tough to kind of recap on everything where we were going, especially, you know, when we talk about our leans and things like that. But how did last weekend treat you on both on the fantasy side and the betting side?
Betting side was very good. I had a good week. DraftKings had like this contest where you pick 5 games a week by the spread. And I went 5-0 with my picks. And I think I'm like at 63%. There's like 6-figure people in the field. Was it like 170,000 or something? I'm like 5 something right now. So that was a good week. But man, fantasy was not great. Missed out on the FSGA playoffs. I had a couple injuries. I was already shorthanded with no Pittman, no Watson. Put Corey Davis in. He exits early. Someone else I think got hurt too. And I had to play Nelson Aguilar. That wasn't good. So that one. Then in my home league, all the teams around me won. And I had a chance to split. And I had Kyler Murray. Needed a big game from him. Third play of the game. At least my night ended early. Don't stress it out. Just get it over with.
Let me ask you this.
Just kick me in the nuts and let me, you know. So I'd rather that. I'd rather that than watch the whole fucking game and get to the end of the fourth quarter and I'm sitting there. I need 4 points. I need 5 points. Get a touchdown. I'd rather just get it over with. You know, save me the fucking aggravation and stress. So at least that happened.
I hear that. I mean, have you ever? Because you know we deal with bizarro injuries that happen all the time at inopportune times. I mean, there's never a good time to get an injury in fantasy. But here we are now. It's like week 4, coming into week 14, we were dealing with all of these QB injuries, and we're looking at all of these, all of these potential options, and how low do you have to go to use these guys? And then all of a sudden, we come away this week, and you get another round of like Kenny Pickett's got a concussion, and Russell Wilson has a concussion, and Kyler Murray tears his ACL. Like, I mean, have you ever seen where a quarterback frenzy of injuries has happened this late in the season?
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, obviously it's more so in super flex leagues that it's a real problem, even though in redraft, because I think there's not a lot of good quarterback matchups this week, man. Even the guys you were rolling with, some of them have some tough matchups. So, yeah, that game was even worse because Stevenson left, then came back, then left again. Connor looked like he got hurt. He came back. Devontae Parker, who I'm sure people use with Jacoby Myers out and the 6 teams on bye, and he looks like he's getting off to a good start. And then he exits with a concussion. So, man, it was crazy.
There's one thing after another. Like legit, we're sitting here talking about just the bottom of the barrel as far as quarterbacks go. And like even the guys that people have been in on now, like a Mike White, not really. I mean, there's a lot of warts even with the low end guys, like more warty than before. Like I look at Mike White right now, and the announcement of Zach Wilson's going to be his backup. It's not going to be Joe Flacco. The press conference asking Zach Wilson, what he learned, him talking about, making football fun again, this whole thing. Like all of a sudden now I'm like, Detroit up 17-3 in the second quarter. And then all of a sudden, suddenly Mike White takes a hit from Aiden Hutchinson. And he's slow to get up, and then what happens? Zach Wilson comes out and saves the day, and everything's fine and forgiven. Like, legit could happen.
Yeah, I mean, he took a bunch of hits last week, somehow hung in there. So there's definitely a lot of concerns as we get quarterback Tua. I mean, you were probably feeling great about Tua in the last 2 weeks.
All of Miami right now.
I don't know if I said it on here, but I know wherever I was, I said before the Chargers game, before the who was the first matchup that they had 2 weeks ago? Oh, San Fran. I said, we're going to learn a lot about Miami over these 3 weeks at San Fran, at the Chargers, and at Buffalo. And what we learned right now is they are not a contender. And it's not going to be any better this week. You're looking at potential snow. It's a Saturday night, wind. And, is it teams have figured out this offense? Is it Tua's banged up? I know they've had offensive line issues. Someone was saying, oh, they've got their injuries on offensive line. Okay, every team has injuries, man. But that was just embarrassing how bad it was. And of course, the DraftKings boost on Sunday night was Tua and Herbert to throw for 250 yards or more. And of course, I didn't touch it. NFL boosts I find are really shady. The NBA ones I think are a little bit better. Me and Fensty played one last night. It was Giannis to get a double-double at plus 100, and he got it in the third quarter. So, but the NFL ones are so shady. There was another one where Waddle needed to get 40 yards receiving. He didn't. So I always worry. Those boosts for the NFL are always shady. But, yeah, like Tua, I mean, it was a guy that you were like, all right, I got Tua every week. And now you're like, can I play him this week in Buffalo? So there's a lot of situations like that this week.
Yeah, where do you have because and I'll say this, losing both your tackles. Yes, everybody's dealing with offensive line injuries, but Terran Armstead on one side, Austin Jackson on the other. Doesn't sound like Armstead's even going to play this week. So I can definitely get understand that, but yeah, I mean we've seen that now where he doesn't have the protection. And he's not playing with the confidence that he had before.
He was 3 of 17 at one point.
I know. I'm saying he's not playing with the confidence that he had before. I genuinely believe he's afraid to get hit. I think he's afraid that he is not going to get that he's going to get leveled in the backfield, that he's going to get sacked and it's gonna fucking hurt. I kind of feel like that's the case right now.
Yeah, so it was not the only bright thing for fantasy this past week was for me. I was in a RT championship semifinal, and I won that. So I'm playing for the championship this week and then the overall of the next 3 weeks. So I had that going for me, but everything else was kind of a shit week. And then Kyler Murray going down, basically. I mean, my team was playing very well in my home league. And, of course, I had, like, my worst week in the most critical week. So that was pretty bad. And to make it worse, I had Trevor Lawrence and Evan Ingram on the bench.
Who is the tight end that you started?
Dulcich.
Everybody loves Dulcich.
He's good. He's getting the targets too. I mean, Ingram has been solid, but I mean, no one saw that coming.
No, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I just, again, I'm having the issues with, with people who are sitting there and you've got a Dulcich or you've got an Ingram on your roster. And then you come back the following week and you're like, what do you think about using Hunter Henry this week? Or what do you think about using Foster Moreau this week? Like chasing those tight ends has just been a nightmare. Like I would just take one guy and just fucking use them. That's it. Just use them.
Yeah. But
don't even need the backup.
Yeah. It's easier said than done. Because
no, it's pretty easy to do.
No, it's not. Because all those guys are inconsistent though. So if you have Ingram and Dulcich, who would you have? And you have the results in front of you. Who were you deciding weeks ago to go with?
Weeks ago? Oh, yeah. I was going with Evan Ingram. Weeks ago, I've had Evan Ingram sitting on my roster in multiple leagues where there were some leagues where I drafted him. As soon as he started seeing regular targets, like good targets, not just like 3 here and then 7 and then 2 and then 1 and then 6. Like, I mean, he was seeing some decent targets. And I was like, listen, this position is horrible right now. Let me just grab Ingram, or take Ingram, stick him in my lineup. And for better or for worse, if he gets me a 2, he gets me a 2. If he gets me a 20, he gets me a 20. But like sitting there, again, listen, I did this in 2017, and I did, and for 16 out of 17 weeks, it was 15 out of 17. I picked a tight end who caught a touchdown. I did. That was I went through.
See, your Evan Ingram argument, it doesn't hold any weight because you want to know what he's been doing lately. Before this big blow up, he had
shit.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? If you said, you know what, I'm going to stick with Ingram, you were stuck with 1 for 8, 3 for 14, 1 for 4. You know what I mean? So that's 3 weeks in a row he did nothing. You're going to continue to run him out there with that? And then you can't tell me the targets were 2, 4, and 1.
The targets were 2, 4, and 1 there. Yes, they were.
Right.
But before that, he was seeing 10, 6, 7, 6. And so he goes through a 3-week span right around his bye week where he's garbage. But who are you fucking picking up there that was going to suddenly do great for you?
Dulcich.
And Dulcich has been consistent, money in the bank. Greg Dulcich?
No tight end is money in the bank outside of Kelsey. Not even Mark Andrews. He sucks right now too. That's the whole point. You can't just pick one and go with it. Right
around Evan Engram's nice little lull. You got a 1 for 11, a 4 for 30, a 2 for 11 from Dulcich.
But all these guys are like that, man.
I know. That's why I'm saying just stick with one. So that way you get the best of him and you deal with the worst of him. But you're never going to sit there and correctly pick what bullshit waiver wire tight end you're going to suddenly get great points from.
See, almost all of Ingram's production came this past week.
Yes. He scored a touchdown the week before too.
Yeah, on 5 for 30. Before that, he had 2 touchdowns. One.
I understand that. I understand exactly what you're saying. What I'm saying is that these players, they go through their highs and their lows. You can sit there and try and play the matchups.
To me, that by saying I'm just going to stick one guy and roll him the whole year, then you're not putting in any effort.
That's not true.
Yes,
I'm putting in effort on my other fucking positions. I'm not worrying about a dog shit trash position like the tight end.
Okay, but you just said a few years ago you picked one with got a touchdown
2017 every week.
But that's what you should be doing if you have the ability, or if you have.
But you can't do that anymore. Nobody can do that anymore. It hasn't been something that you could do for the last couple of years. I mean, think about it, man. Think about it. Travis Kelce, 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons. The dude is fucking amazing, right? We keep trying to put players in his level. Like Darren Waller has a great season. Suddenly Darren Waller's the be-all end-all of tight ends, and he's a top 3 tight end. What's he done since that year? It's the same thing. Mark Andrews has been shit this year. He's been horrible in comparison to where you drafted him. That's what I'm saying is that we keep trying to find players who we can kind of push up and try and put into that upper tier, and they never pan out.
Well, okay, but that's not the discussion. We're not talking about guys drafted in round 2 or 3. We're talking about the rest. I just don't think I'm just going to pick this guy and leave him in, and I'm going to deal with the 1 for 8 and 1 for 9 because I know a big game is coming. I mean, I just don't think that's the way to manage it.
But who are you? The question that I'm asking you is, who are you picking up? And you say Greg Dulcich, and then I just rattled off 3 shit weeks that Dulcich had around the same time.
I gave you 3 even worse weeks by Ingram that you continue to stick with.
But if I switch to Dulcich during one of those shit weeks, guess what? Dulcich didn't do anything either.
You're right. Okay, we just picked Dulcich. I can find someone who had good weeks.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't have it all in front of me. Everett, whoever did the joke.
It doesn't exist.
Yes, it does.
I'm telling you. Here, I got this shit in front of me here, man. I got this shit in front of me. Let's talk. You want to talk tight ends? You want to talk tight ends there, Ronis?
I'll talk tight ends with you. We're wasting our time. The point is that I don't think you should just, this is going to be my guy and I'm going to roll with him. Unless it's like Schultz, Freiermuth, Njoku. If you don't have those guys, you got to do something and try and figure it out. And yeah, there's some weeks you're going to get burned. But you can't tell me, I'm just going to roll with Ingram all year long. No one's had an Ingram ranked in the top 12 every single week.
No, nobody's had Evan Ingram ranked in the top 12. Again, with the exception of Kelsey or Andrews or Freiermuth or, Goddard earlier on.
Those guys have bad weeks.
I mean, all I'm saying is that our top 10 of tight ends, not great, dude.
I mean,
nobody.
There's nobody. And Ingram goes from, and I don't like the total points, but I think he's 4th in total points. I think he was outside the top 12 going into the week. It's just so misleading. I mean, Ertz and Goddard are top 6 tight ends on points per game, and they've missed weeks.
Right. I understand. I'm just saying, you talk about you're not going to stick with Engram after he has, let's say he has a bad week or two bad weeks in a row.
He had 3 awful weeks, bro. 1 for 8, 3 for 14, and 1 for 4.
Are you still starting him in that third week?
I mean, against Baltimore, no.
I'm just saying, no. I mean, I'm just saying, if your tight end, if your tight end has 2 shitty weeks, and then you've got the option of fishing for another one on the waiver wire, or sticking with him again and hoping that things pan out for him. The question, the problem is like, where are you going for your tight end? Because now all of a sudden, if you're going to your waiver wire looking for tight ends, Dulcich, Fant, Tunyon, Dawson Knox, Austin Hooper, Cade Otton, Tyler Higbee, Tyler Conklin. Like, what I'm saying is that you're spinning your wheels. You think that, okay, I'm going to get a guy who's got a better matchup here, but if that guy doesn't produce, then you haven't done anything but either waste fab or possibly drop a guy who's just in a rut that shouldn't be, that won't stay in that rut the entire time.
Yeah, but what guy are you dropping that was consistent? I never dropped Engram. I've had him all year long. So I never dropped him because he had a bad week.
You're one of those multiple tight end guys.
It depends on the league. I mean, I don't. What is the problem with having multiple tight ends if you have the roster space?
If you have the roster space, then you have the roster space.
People hold 2 quarterbacks all year long, and it's a fucking waste of time.
I understand that. I agree with that statement as well. I agree with that statement that during the year, you don't need a fucking backup defense. You don't need a backup kicker.
Yeah,
I don't think you need a backup tight end either.
I think if you don't have an elite one, and they're very few, I think it does pay to have 2 if you have the roster space.
And then you're basically you're playing the matchups there, and you're trying to figure it out, and you end up starting Dulcich over Evan Engram.
All right, you're not going to get it right all the time.
And then what happens, right? I mean, that's the thing.
But it's, to me, I'm just going to stick with this guy, and he's had 3, 1 for 8, 2 for. I mean, you're just going to keep rolling him out there. What if he's hurt?
But you sat him after a 7-target, 5-catch, 30-yard and a touchdown day.
Well,
you sat him the week after that against Tennessee.
And Tennessee is a pretty good defense. And Dulcich was no Cortland Sutton in a game that they were playing from behind at home against Kansas City, where he was lining up in the slot a lot, and he's running routes 90% of the time.
Yeah. And look what he gave you.
All right. So now everyone's going to go to Engram this week. What is he going to do?
Oh, yeah. He's going to shit the bed this week because that's what happens. Because you know why? Because the tight end position sucks.
It does. But I mean, that's why you have to try and do something.
But if you've got Evan Engram, are you gonna sit him now because you don't like this move against Dallas? You don't like the matchup against Dallas this week. After you're gonna sit a guy who just had 11 catches for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns.
No, people are not gonna sit him. I mean, but again,
they're gonna leave him in the line. Are you gonna use him this week? Or you stay with Dulcich?
I don't have that decision to make. I'm done.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry. It's probably because you didn't leave Evan Engram in your lineup.
Probably. I'm not sure I would have made it anyway, but it didn't help having him on the bench.
This was yes. Again, we probably say a statement very similar to this every single year, but this was a really weird fucking year. This was really weird year for fantasy.
It really was. And I know people are like, oh, you said, no, this was just a lot of bizarre things. The scoring was down. So many players that you expected to produce didn't. They were really bad. I mean, there was a ton of busts this year. Yeah. I mean, the scoring was just down. That was the problem. And it was also a year too, we're so used to having the quarterbacks in the mid to late rounds all hit, right? Oh, we're going to wait on quarterback. We're going to get this guy. That failed in a major way this year. I mean, if you don't have like an elite quarterback, you're probably not in the playoffs, so you're probably not winning a championship. And even some of those guys like Josh Allen's not playing great right now. I mean, he's still producing, but not to the level where you drafted him. But it's Hurts, Mahomes, Allen that are up there. Fields obviously is the one late round guy that has really worked out. Herbert, though, wasn't good most of the year. He's coming on a little bit. Burrow's come on, but there's just not a lot of, a lot of people are like, oh, I can get Carr and Stafford. No. I mean, one of the most productive, consistent is Geno Smith. People who picked up off waivers. Aaron Rodgers sucked. Russell Wilson sucked.
Dude, yeah, I was just going to say there are so many people out there. It's so funny. There's so many people out there who did ended up like with the Geno Smith route after dealing with a guy like Wilson all year. Like you can always tell the people who are riding Geno Smith right now and trying to use him in fantasy are the same people who just got way hosed on the position. Way hosed. Oh, fantasy football. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I gotta sit and I gotta focus on my stupid GST team, dude. Unbelievable. You want to talk about limping into the playoffs and just seeing like money slip away. I went from like, best record in the league and most points to I'm a 4 seed now in that thing. It's just brutal.
Yeah, things can change quickly. I know in my league, there was a guy who was pretty much ahead in points all year, and he wound up losing out on best points by 2.2.
Oh, the saving grace that I have here, in all honesty, is actually because my team is now getting healthy again. So I've got a healthy Mixon and Josh Jacobs and hopefully Mahomes and Kelsey, don't shit the bed completely on me. Because of that whole overall, like, what is it? Like your average points plus what you score in the next like 3 weeks or something like that, 4 weeks.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
That's the money I want, man. That's the money I want. I want it all. I want to win that. And I want to win my league. And I'm going to do it. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling my shot. I'm Babe Ruthing this at the moment. I'm pointing to it. It's a championship.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Are you gonna be proud of me? Are you gonna be happy for me? Are you gonna join us here on the podcast and sing my praises?
Absolutely.
See, there it is. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, let's move off of the fantasy football world. Let's talk NBA props. So, Adam, how's NBA been treating you? Oh, did we get it just like so close yesterday? For everybody out there, I was on the not Let's Bet It. It was NBC Battle of the Bets, and they wanted they were asking me to help them out and fill in, and I was like, okay, sure, but I don't know shit about basketball. I don't know shit about betting hockey or whatever. And they're like, well, you can pick some games here for tonight. So what did I do? I went to my boys. I went to Adam for NBA. I went to Dan Servadidio for college basketball. And I went to Andrew Dewhurst for hockey. And the Dewhurst's hockey play, by the way, fucking smoked it. He was like, take the Sabres on the money line. He's, Kings, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You gave me Zion 26.5 points with you gave me like this laundry list of reasons for the prop. Like you would do like a regular article. I was like, just give me like a bullet point or two. So you give me all of this stuff here. And it was that fucking half point again, man. It was the damn half point. What happened to my Zion play there?
He had foul trouble. So he sat out in the first half and then he was pulled with about 6 minutes left because it was a blowout. So he only played 26 minutes, had 26 points in 26 minutes. It was the only bet I lost last night. I had Anthony Davis over 40.5 points, rebounds. That hit. Nice. I had James Harden over 9.5 assists. That hit. I did a 4-leg parlay because I had a free bet on BetMGM. So I loved, Harden and Embiid are just crushing it. So I did Embiid 25 or more points, Harden 15 or more points, Harden 2 threes or more, and Harden 9 assists or more at plus 130, and that hit. So I cashed that.
Beautiful.
And what was the other one? Yeah, so Zion and the Giannis double-double, which was a boost. I think it was one other thing. So yeah, the Zion one was the only one I lost. I don't regret that pick at all. I would make it again. And same matchup he has Thursday night, I'm going to play it again because I don't see them getting blown out again. And yeah, it just sucks. He was 10 of 16 from the field. Missed 4 free throws. But yeah, 26 minutes, man. Come on, man. He usually plays, 30, 32 to 34 minutes. He's been playing at an MVP level. This team has been playing great. Brandon Ingram remains out, so he's become
I didn't think Utah was going to blow him out like that. I mean, the guy who I was going up against for Battle of the Bets actually took Utah on the money line. But, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be like that. I mean,
the previous games, Zion scored 35, 35, 29, 25, 30, 33. He's just been unbelievable. And yeah, he had 16 field goal attempts, which was his fewest in the last 5 games, tied for the fewest. So yeah, I'm gonna probably play. I think they play Thursday night. So my guess is the line will be about 26.5, 27.5. I got it at 27.5. I gave it to you the night before. Yeah,
26.5.
Same matchup. Pelicans in Utah. Pelicans favored by 2. Game total 2. I'm gonna go right back to it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm definitely gonna do it. Listen, I was, it was so funny too because I wasn't like really kind of paying attention. There was just sitting there last night late, and I was like, oh shit, I wonder how the picks went for the show. And I went and I looked and I was like, okay, whatever. It was so funny too because like when you lose a prop, you get nicked by that half so much. And I'm sure that happens to everybody who plays props consistently, but it was just, to me, it was like really funny. Oh, I was like, he's probably going to think I'm going to come on the show and I'm going to piss on him and, give him shit for losing that prop. I was like, nah. I mean, I got nothing, for me, just, to throw it out there and stuff like that. And I bet everything I play. I text my guy and I'm like, this is what I want you to, put down for me and take care of that. And so I played it, and actually he texted me back and he was like, Zion's at 27.5. And I was like, ooh, fuck it. Go ahead. Take it with the hit the over on that one anyway also. But the 26.5, that's what I was like, that was crazy. Well, whatever, dude. I mean, listen, what do you like coming up this weekend? Well, besides Zion again, going back at the Jazz, what else you like?
Real quick though. So Tuesday, I'm giving out plays and I said, I like Kyrie Irving over 24.5 points. Fancy's like, oh, I like that. I'm going to play that too. Kyrie Irving had 20 points at halftime. He scored 4 in the second half. Full half. I like 4 points in the second half. 4? Yeah, 4.
Did he fall off the edge of the earth or something?
No, man. I don't know what. Yeah, I know. And the worst part, I also had Durant over 29.5 points, and he got a basket with 2 minutes left to go over. I was like, oh my goodness, man, I can't believe this. So, that it happens, we're on the other side of it sometimes, but man, it's rough. But yeah, I'm going to be looking at, let's see. Embiid's just a monster right now, and Harden's assist have been 9.5, but, they've had some injuries, and he's balling out right now. Both those guys I'm looking at, they just soak up so much usage. Bam Adebayo's a guy I've played a lot. I played him Wednesday night. Oh, I see Thursday against the Rockets. Oh, that's a great matchup, assuming he plays. Zion has been unbelievable. The Suns are a team that's really banged up right now, so got to look at maybe some of their players. The Hawks are a mess right now. Let's see. Tatum has been unbelievable. His props are always very high, but Sixers play the Warriors on Friday. Ooh, boy, in Philly. That'll be interesting. Siakam from the Raptors, I like a lot. Durant and Kyrie Irving Brooklyn's playing very well right now. It looked like they were going to be a terrible team this year. Then they fired Steve Nash, and ever since then, or he left, resigned, whatever you want to happen. And then the Nets are now 17-12 and playing good basketball. Durant's putting up MVP numbers. Despite Kyrie not hitting the other night, he's been playing very well. Continue to play SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Minnesota's an interesting team right now because no Karl-Anthony Towns. So Gobert, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Damian Lillard. Oh my God, this guy's on fire right now. We'll find out if I hit the boost, but DraftKings did a boost for Lillard on Wednesday night, plus 100 to score 25 points and hit 2 threes. I played it. He is on another level right now. I love watching him play. I really hope we get to see them in the playoffs because that dude is extremely clutch. He's not afraid to take the big shot. But over his last few games, he scored 40, 36, and 38. Only 29 minutes on Monday. 38 points, 11 threes, 11 of 17 from three-point range. So he's on another level right now. So I will continue to play his props because he's just locked in right now. Let's see. Oh, Anthony Davis. This dude is, you always worry about him getting hurt, but I've been pretty much playing his points rebounds prop every time out. As I said, I played it against the Celtics on Tuesday night. It was 40.5. He had 37 points, 12 rebounds. His last few games, 37 and 12, 34 and 15, 31 and 12. He left the game on December 6th with mud butt after 8 minutes. And of course, that's the night FanDuel and DraftKings decided to refund all bets on him because he left with the flu. It was not on the injury report. The game before that, 55 points, 17 rebounds. Before that, 44 and 10, 27 and 12, 25 and 13. He's just insane right now. So I'm going to continue to play him. But yeah, it's funny too. These sites, man, they're all PR, man. So you saw they refunded all bets for Kyler Murray on Monday. Why didn't you do that with Devontae Parker, who got hurt? Left with a concussion. Oh, why? Because he's not a big star? And that's the problem I have. Like, how do you decide when to refund bets? And it's because if it's a most popular bet that night, if it's a national TV game, and if it's a star. You know, Kyler Murray, star. His rushing prop, I think, was very popular, over 36.5 yards. He gets hurt. Oh, yeah, let's refund. Why aren't you refunding Devontae Parker bets? Because he's Nolan?
Because he's a garbage wide receiver.
But I'm saying, like, I think his bet, it was only like 39.5 that night. And it was a good play. He already had like 2 for 27. He was probably going to get there. No Jacoby Myers. So against Arizona. So it's just, I get why they do it. It's PR, but like you open up a window where people are going to complain. Well, I saw you refunded Kyler Murray bets. Can I get my bet back on some scrub? And like, I know they do it for PR. It looks good. Like, oh, look at these sports books. They're so nice. Yeah, they're going to take your fucking money.
I know, right? That's man. I'll tell you what. That's the worst thing too. To me, it's the worst thing because, it's like all of these like nice favors they're doing for all of their new betting things. I mean, that they're gonna take your fucking house and your car when you start losing to them regularly, and all of a sudden, it's been done. Oh, I've been playing on FanDuel for 5 years. You remember when they used to, give us our money back if a player got hurt? How come they're not doing it this time? And it's because they're like, fuck you, because we did it the first year and we don't need to do it anymore because now you degenerates are fucking hooked.
Yeah, and the Anthony Davis one, I think that was also it was a nationally televised game, and he was a very popular bet that night. So that's why they did it. But yeah, I mean, NBA has been pretty good. You know, you always go through ups and downs. I think the Picks Wise article this past week was 2-1.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, it's been pretty good. And like I said, Tuesday was pretty good. Just lost that Zion bet by a hook. And again, I don't regret that bet at all. I would do it again. It was a good play. He plays another 2 minutes. He easily cashes. You needed one more basket.
I'm fine with that. Listen, I told you, man. I don't. It doesn't bother me. If I ask you for a bet, if I like come out like, hey, Adam, can you help me out with this? The last thing I'm gonna ever do is come back and be like, oh, dude, that bet sucked. It was shit. What am I?
Yeah, I played it. That was the first bet I put in that night. I didn't have lines for the other, like Anthony Davis. That line wasn't out because Boston was playing that night. So they didn't have any player props for that. So I had to wait till the next day on that one. So, I mean, I put bets in the night before once in a while. So for like Tuesday for Wednesday, I put in Bam Adebayo over 32.5 points rebounds because I knew Jimmy Butler was out and it was a great matchup. But like, for example, on Wednesday, I was eyeing bets on Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre. But I was like, you know what? Let me wait to see if LaMelo Ball plays. And what happened? LaMelo Ball was ruled in like about an hour before the game. So I'm glad I didn't play those props. That's why you never want to put in a lot of NBA prop bets the night before. Unless there's something like you're certain of or you feel really strongly about. You just don't. I mean, it's great to get the early line movements because, man, those lines move so fast. It's insane how quickly the juice moves, how quickly props move up. in NBA. But you don't want to put yourself in a spot where a player's ruled in and now that prop doesn't look good. So I tend not to. I might put in one player prop the night before if I see something, but not many.
Makes sense. Listen, it definitely makes sense. No doubt about it. I mean, especially, with just the whole, with the way that the NBA is and guys, just so many last minute scratches that you can't leave yourself hanging like that. It's like, I honestly, I'm not a big prop guy when I do some football props and stuff like that, though. Like I try to, look for the earlier ones, and I look for like the less marquee players. Right, because that by the time unless they really get one wrong with like a marquee player, that closer to game time, those props get tougher and tougher because they keep moving the lines on you. So I don't know, man. I like sticking to the games. Just give me the games. I'm a happy camper that way. I don't need to go that granular and start looking at player props. Again, to each his or her own. That's the way it is. I don't begrudge anybody playing a bunch of props. It's not for me. And I'll stick with games. And speaking of sticking with games, I know that you have have dinner plans, so I don't want to keep you because I'm sure you're going to want to shower, change, spray a little cologne on yourself, make yourself presentable to the world. So how about we just dive right into the NFL slate for Week 15? You good with that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Started off here with the Thursday night football game. San Francisco 49ers. They are visiting the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are a home dog, 3.5. Listen, we've got Brock Purdy, who is expected to play now. That's what we're hearing. Kenneth Walker puts in a full practice for the Seattle Seahawks, so they're getting a little better. They don't have to rely on the invisible Travis Homer. Which way do you like on the on this game here? Do the Seahawks do it at home with that extra little half point?
Yeah, I lean towards taking them with the points. I don't feel great about it. I do think San Francisco is a better team, but this could be a tough spot for them. A short week with a inexperienced quarterback. Yeah, he was good last week, but they were in full control. He's banged up, dealing with oblique and rib injuries as well. I know Seattle hasn't looked good, but divisional game, very tough place to play. Again, San Francisco's really good defensively. They've done well in this rivalry as well. So I'm going to take the points, thinking that they could keep it close. It's really important for them, too, to keep their playoff hopes alive. They have a very difficult schedule. And if San Francisco wins this game, they clinch the NFC West. So it is concerning. A lot of the matchups, Geno against this defense. Is Kenneth Walker going to be able to run the ball on them? But tough place to play, short week, divisional game. Looking for Seattle to keep it close. So I'm going to take the 3.5.
I like the 3.5 points as well. I do think that it stays close. I like Kenneth Walker coming back. It's not a short week for him. He sat out last week. So I think he's got fresh legs and he's good to go. And that Pete Carroll's just going to keep running the ball at him. Listen, you're going to have Christian McCaffrey going up against the Seattle Seahawks, and that's going to be a smash spot, and everybody and their grandmother's going to want it, and they're going to end up using him as their DFS captain because, that's the play. But, yeah, I agree with you, man. I think Seattle, whose defense has actually improved a little bit over the last few weeks, maybe they focus on taking out Christian McCaffrey. Maybe they focus a little bit on, trying to make sure that Brock Purdy has to pass the ball. And if Purdy's not capable, he's got no Deebo Samuel. Yeah, you got Ayuk. Yeah, you got Kittle. Really haven't been using these guys all that much or all that well this season. So I like Seattle here as well. I'll take the points and enjoy it. Saturday slate, 3-game on Saturday. And for everybody out there who's going to be listening to this, just so you know, I'm going to put a special playbook out just for the Saturday games. I'm going to put that out on Friday. That's going to be free. So if you don't subscribe to Fantasy Alarm, you listen to this podcast, check it on out. Friday, I'll have a 3-game playbook out. I will post some example lineups on Saturday. Those will be free as well. Take it for a spin and check it out. And if you like it, well, then you're going to have to subscribe because you're going to want Sunday's playbook then as well. And that one's fixing to be some fire there. The DFS watch list is already out on Fantasy Alarm, so enjoy that. But we're going to do a free playbook for the 3 games on Saturday, and it starts with the Colts, Adam, against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are a home favorite by 4. I think the Vikings win this game. Now, whether or not they can cover the spread makes me a little bit nervous here. The Vikings secondary is shit. And while I'm not really all that into Matt Ryan, I do think he's got some decent weapons in Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell and Alec Pierce. So I worry that the Colts do a little like late cover here because it's the 4, right? It's not the 3 points there. It's the 4. Ugh. So I'm going to lean Colts here on the road with the points, but I think the Vikings on the money line are the play.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings here. Last week I was against them. I liked Detroit as the favorite. Some people didn't, but I thought that was Vegas had the right line. It played out that way. Yes, the Vikings have deficiencies. They're not great, but they're at home. This is a bounce back spot for them. I know the Colts are coming off a bye. It's just trusting Matt Ryan. Yeah, he's got weapons, and I know the Viking secondary is rough, but if they can get some pressure on him, it's going to be a problem. So I see the Vikings bouncing back here and covering this.
All right, cool. Ravens Browns. That's the midday fiesta for you here. Ravens at the Browns. Browns are a 3-point favorite against Baltimore. Tyler Huntley is supposed to play in this game. Deshaun Watson's definitely looked better in the last game than he did the game before that. It's a tough defense with the Ravens. Obviously, since adding Roquan Smith, what Patrick Queen has been doing has been absolutely fantastic. So which way do you lean on this one?
This is a real tough game. I mean, I know the Browns are favored by 3. The Ravens have been bad offensively. The defense is still good. I'm going to lean the Ravens with the 3. This could be a 3-point game. It might be a push. I think Watson played a little bit better last week. Stefanski has never been good as a favorite either. And as a division favorite.
What a shock. Stefanski.
He's 1-7 against the spread as a division favorite.
There you go.
I'm going to take the points with the Ravens here.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin Stefanski is the bane of my existence. I absolutely hate the guy. He is just a complete moron. And I agree with you. I think that, listen, I didn't even know the Stefanski as a favorite is 1-6 against the spread. And I was still leaning on the Ravens there. So I'm with you.
And as a favorite, as a coach, he's 9-17 against the spread as a favorite.
Oh, Jesus. He's so bad. You know why? Because he thinks that he's like outsmarting people by doing things that you shouldn't do. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to go up against the Houston Texans. So I'm going to unleash a guy at quarterback who hasn't played a game in 2 fucking years instead of leaning on the most incredible running back in the NFL right now.
And they got fortunate to win that game. 2 defensive touchdowns and a special teams touchdown. I mean,
so gross,
it was embarrassing.
Dude. So gross. So gross. The night game, Miami, Buffalo, with the way everything's looking. Listen, Tyreek Hill, full practice today. Again, Adam and I are recording here on Wednesday evening. But we talked about it with Tua. He doesn't look good. The offensive line issues, Buffalo at home in the shitty weather, whatever it's going to end up being. It's going to be bitter cold. I'm just going to take the Bills and I'm going to lay the points.
Me too, man. I just don't see how you could back the Dolphins. I watch them cover and win straight up because I don't, maybe people have the same mentality as us, but remember too, the Bills already lost to Miami this year. They're going to, want that payback, and they dominated that game. They had the ball for 40 minutes and ran like way more plays than the Dolphins. So it's just hard to back the Dolphins right now. I think, as I said, we'd find out about them, and they have not been able to step up against better competition. I mean, the Chargers defense, which is not that good, and they couldn't do anything against them. This Bills defense is playing better. They're at home. And, Josh Allen, probably not in the MVP conversation now. If he comes through with a big game here in prime time, maybe he puts himself back in the conversation. But I can't back Miami right now.
I can't back him either. I can't, I won't, I don't need to, and we'll move on from that. Those are the three games on Saturday. Sunday starts off here 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. The Eagles against the Bears. Eagles are 9-point favorite. Jalen Hurts looks amazing. A.J. Brown is amazing. Devonta Smith is catching touchdowns. Miles Sanders looks like an absolute beast. You do have Justin Fields on the other side. I gotta tell you, man, this one's a tough one here because I feel like, even with even with as shitty as the Bears defense is and can be, I just don't know if I want to go with a full 9 points here, even though I think the Eagles crush in this game. I think they win. I think they cover, kind of where I'm leaning right now.
Yeah, I'll take the points here. The one thing that Philly is a little susceptible to, although I know they've been better with some of the defensive tackles they've added, is the run defense. Fields is just so dynamic. So Philly could be up big and Fields breaks off a long run and kind of gives you the backdoor cover. We've seen dogs around this number have been covering a lot lately.
Yeah.
So, and Philly, it's kind of a look ahead spot too. They got Dallas on Christmas Eve, which essentially, they can lock up the division with a win there. So I'm going to take the points with the Bears, thinking that they can stay competitive. And they might be down, 17 late and then 16 and come back and score a touchdown for the backdoor cover.
Well, I hope they don't, Adam, for my sake at least.
Okay. I mean, I'm not strong on it. Like, Philly's so good, man, So I wouldn't be surprised if Philly blew them out at all.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at that one bit. But I would probably want to lean on the under then if I think that Philly's going to blow them out.
Yeah.
All right, Dallas, Jacksonville. You know what? I mean, this is kind of of an interesting one in my opinion, only because we know that Dallas is bet on by more people than any other NFL team. And, they came from behind. They struggled against Houston, but before that, I mean, it was just like they're blowing everybody out, blah, blah, blah. I feel like Vegas is begging the public to bet Dallas. Oh, yeah, we could beat the Jags by a touchdown. We could do that. I feel like that might be where we're at. But do I really want to take the Jags and the points? Trevor Lawrence going up against this defense. I know you lost Jordan Lewis, your slot corner, and that was your Achilles heel with Chris Moore. But I don't know, man. Which way are you leaning on this?
I'm leaning Dallas. I mean, obviously Dallas almost lost to the Texans. They probably took them lightly. Jacksonville got a lot of breaks against Tennessee, and I was on Jacksonville in that game getting the points, but my goodness, they got so many things break their way. Derrick Henry with 2 fumbles. So, I mean, we've kind of been through this with Jacksonville. They had the big win against the Ravens, and I knew the next week they were going to have the letdown against Detroit, and they did. So I think that's what people do. Oh, Cowboys barely beat the Texans. Oh, Jaguars had an impressive win against Tennessee. Yeah, Jacksonville's going to cover. The one thing about Dallas, 8 of their 10 wins this year come by at least a touchdown. So their defense is playing very well. I think that was a wake-up call. I guess with them, the risk is too, do they look ahead again to Philly on Christmas Eve? But Dallas has a top-notch pass rush, number 2 in pass defense DVOA. So I'm going to take Dallas -4.
Are you worried about what's your level of concern with Terrence Steele being lost for the season now and going to like Jason Peters on the right tackle?
A little bit, but they'll get Tyron Smith back soon.
Isn't Smith going to play the left side?
Yeah, but I mean, at least he'll help the line.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wrote this up for picks wise. I believe I actually took the Cowboys -4. So I'm with you on that one there. Like that's the question. Like, which way is the is the public money going to come in here? It was at 4.5 earlier, so it's down at 4. So obviously some money's coming in. Chiefs, Texans. I wrote this one up here for picks wise as well. Chiefs favored by 14 over the Texans. I feel like, I hate laying the points. like this. I really hate laying 14. Not good, especially against a team like Houston. But I think that everybody's going to look at this one here and say, "Wow, the Texans, the Chiefs, their offense hasn't looked great over the last couple of weeks, and they lost that game to the Bengals and blah blah blah." And I think Houston played Dallas so tough that I think actually the Chiefs blow them out. I think the Chiefs cover this spread, and I also take the under on the 49.5.
Yeah, this one's tough. I guess I kind of lean it too. I mean, Houston had. I mean, think about it. They had 2 games where, okay, they got up for Deshaun Watson, right? I figured they would play in that game, and I know they didn't cover, but they should have, all those stupid touchdowns. And then, of course, Cowboys, you're going to get up for that in-state rivalry. You don't really have much to play for. They got up for it. It's just the one thing is that just Mahomes has never been good as double-digit favorite, man. That's the one thing that worries me, but
they're 2-2 against the spread this year when they're favored by more than a touchdown.
He's in his career, he's 5-10-1 against the spread as a favorite of more than 10.
Favorite?
More than 10, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and last week too, how the fuck did they? It was 27-0. They let Denver right back in the game. So I guess I lean Kansas City too.
Okay. Jets hosting the Detroit Lions. Jets are favored by 1. Did I set this tone for you here? Did I tell you what was going to happen? You know how the NFL's scripted, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Well, so I saw the screenplay for the new movie that's coming up, and what's going on here is the Jets are going to be losing 17-3, right? And then Aiden Hutchinson's going to come in. He's going to level. And it's like end of the second quarter, towards the end of the second quarter. He's going to level Mike White, and he's going to hurt him. He's going to hurt him bad. Mike White's been ineffective for the first half. He's now banged up even more because he takes that hit. Jets go into the locker room down 17-3. They come out, and to a cacophony of boos and cheers with a splash of hope, everybody's going to realize that Zach Wilson's coming in for the second half. He leads the New York Jets to a victory over the Detroit Lions at home, and keeps those playoff hopes alive, and all is forgiven. His teammates forgive him, and the public forgives him, and Zach Wilson's back in everyone's good graces, and the Jets win this one.
I lean the Jets here. This is probably the most fascinating game of the week. I mean, this is huge. Jets still vying for a playoff spot, and I really want – I had this discussion with Fency this week. I think Detroit's the 4th best team in the NFC right now. I mean, you put Philly, Dallas, San Fran above them. Is there any team in the NFC you would put above the Lions right now?
Philly, Dallas, San Fran. Is there another team in the NFC?
Yes, that you would say is better than the Lions right now.
No.
Right.
No.
So I really want to see them get in the playoffs. It's going to be a tough road. I think if they lose this game, they still could get in. At Carolina, home to the Bears, at Green Bay. Does Rodgers even play that week? Who knows? So I think there's still a shot. They're obviously going to need some help. They'll need Seattle and the Giants to lose along the way. So there's still a shot. But I lean the Jets here. Their defense is so good. Detroit's not as good on the road. Like Detroit just played 3 straight home games. Yeah, they beat the Giants 31-18. The Giants are just not good. They're falling apart.
I don't know if the Giants win another game this year. They look terrible.
I think they have the Colts at home. So they might win that, but yeah, It's possible the Giants don't win a game. It's absolutely could happen. So, a good win on the road, and then they barely beat the Bears 31-30. Against Dallas, they scored 6. Patriots, they got shut out. They're way better at home. They average like more than 30 points a game at home. It's a tough matchup. Jets defense is no joke. I mean, Jets should have a few more wins if they had a better quarterback and offensive line. I mean, their defense shuts teams down. They have really held the Bills in check this year. So I'm going to take the Jets. And this is one of the biggest games of the week.
It definitely is. I'm very excited about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing if Zach Wilson can be forgiven by the rest, because I just don't think Mike White is the answer. And I want to see more of Zach Wilson before I realize that we need to go out and trade up for another QB in the fucking draft. And
Howard rooting for an injury, unbelievable.
I'm not rooting for an injury.
You just said you want to see Wilson come in, and it's.
I want to see Wilson come in. I don't need Mike White to get injured. I just need Mike White to suck in the first half and have Robert Saleh be like, "Here's the kid's moment." Okay. Like this is your moment, Zach Wilson. You're at home. It's must win. Bring us back from the dead against this shit-sucking Lions defense, because it's really not a great defense. They do have, some good moments there. I do like Okudah. I do like Hutchinson, but I can't really say that I am enamored with this Lions defense that much. So yeah, I think that it's, if the NFL is going to be scripted, then here we go. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to see. Doesn't need to. Mike White doesn't have to get it.
This is such a tough game for me, man. I want both teams to win, bro. I want to see the Jets in the playoffs, but I want to see Detroit in too. Then again, do I want to see Detroit as a Cowboy fans? No, I'd rather play Washington.
No, what are you worried about? You're going to lose to Tampa Bay in the first round anyway.
Dude, if that happens, man, I'm fucking done.
I know. We've talked about this. We actually have it on record where you said that you'd be done with them, but then I said, really? Mark the tape. And then you were like, well, I said I'd probably be done with them. So I didn't really commit to it.
That would be a devastating loss. And then I know for sure the NFL is fixed, that they did the Brady witchcraft and they need Brady to make a run. I'd be convinced. I mean, I'm already convinced that it's kind of is, but I would be 100% completely sold. It is fixed if that happens.
All righty. All right. So Jets Lions, we'll leave that one there. We'll go to Pittsburgh against Carolina. Pittsburgh's on the road. They are a 3-point underdog to the Carolina Panthers. Who do you like?
I've been picking the Steelers every single week.
And it's worked.
Carolina's been playing well, man. Their defense is good. It really is. This was 2.5. Now it's 3. I know Carolina's a favorite is weird, but do you believe it or not, Carolina controls their own destiny. If they win out, they win the division. They've already beaten Tampa, and they get them again.
Do you want me to help you make this decision?
Mike Tomlin?
No.
Sam Darnold is a favorite?
I'm talking about Mason Rudolph taking first team snaps alongside Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, all week I've been on Carolina. When I saw it was 2.5, I'm like, I like Carolina. Even I'm still taking Carolina.
Yeah. Yes, you are. I'm with you.
They're gonna run the ball 50 times.
Listen, Deonta Foreman, Blackshear, and Chuba Hubbard.
This is an under too, because both teams are gonna run the hell of the football. The clock's gonna just tick away. What was the game this week that ended like 3:30? It was a game that ended like 3:30, 3:35. I forgot which game it was, but I was like, I can't remember now. I forgot. Whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. Am I starting Chuba Hubbard in the GST league this week?
Yeah, I picked him up last week in the GST. Too bad I don't get to use him again. I'm done. But yeah, he's not a bad play. I mean, depending on what you have, but yeah, he's not a bad play. I mean, they're both getting touches. They're gonna run the hell out of the ball. They're trying to hide Sam Darnold.
Oh, poor Sammy. I love the fact that another USC quarterback got the Heisman Trophy award.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what team he disappoints this year.
Yeah, I mean, he was really good though. But my friend's a Panthers fan. He's kind of torn because he wants to draft a good quarterback. And I texted him. I'm like, hey, you went out. You in the division. Dallas plays at Carolina first round. I said, if that happens, we're fucking going. And he's like, I want a quarterback, man. This is not good. Because you ain't going nowhere if you make the playoffs, right?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're not going anywhere if they make the playoffs.
Nowhere. No. Nowhere. All right, next game, Falcons, Saints. Saints at home. They're favored by 4.5. Falcons coming off a bye. The debut of Desmond Ridder. And I think I'm going to take the Saints. I'm going to lay the points. I'm not going to say that Kamara has that 6-touchdown game again, but I think Alvin Kamara dominates in this matchup here, even though he's done shit.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. Kamara has 3 touchdowns this year. They're all in the fucking same game.
Yep, I know. 2 receiving, 1 rushing.
fucking guy.
Now, well, here you go. 5 games later, it's going to happen right here. Alvin Kamara, I'm locking him in for fucking DFS. I just know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. The fucking Falcons' run defense is terrible.
Yeah,
Ritter is going
to... Ingram is out.
Ingram is out. Ritter is going to cause so many 3-and-outs this week that I feel like the Saints just have to run the ball. They have to just go with Kamara.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing that rookie quarterback angle, I mean, look, it could be the opposite. He could come in and spark them, but
sure.
It's Saints have won 8 of the last 10 against Atlanta, and Atlanta's defense is bad, especially on the road. So I'll take the Saints as well.
All right, we're sharing in the Saints. New England Patriots, Las Vegas Raiders. Patriots on the road, favored by a point. Bill Belichick versus Josh McDaniels.
See, this one seems too easy, but believe it or not, McDaniels is 2-0 against the spread against Belichick.
What?
One was a preseason game, though.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, come on. Give it to me, baby. What do you got?
I think I'm going to take the Raiders.
Am
I wrong?
No, I don't think you are. That's the worst part about it. Like, I hate betting against Belichick. I really do. I really fucking hate betting against Belichick, especially when he's going up against a former coach, especially when he's going up against the team. Now, I think working in the Raiders' favor, I'd like to see if Hunter Renfrow or Darren Waller steps out on the field. Because who's Belichick going to go after? He's going to go after Devontae Adams. He's going to go after Josh Jacobs.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I have this decision to make in a playoff game. I have Waller on IR. If he's back, do I play him over Dulcich? You're going to say yes, right?
No, I'm definitely not going to say yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that dude
I can't.
He might get hurt in warm-ups, right?
I can't trust Darren Waller yet. I mean, that's like I would trust Goddard. If Goddard's going to be on the field this week, I'll trust Goddard, but I won't trust Waller.
I have Goddard in that RT Sports Championship, so it's Goddard and Dulcich. So yeah, I think if Goddard goes, I'm gonna put him in.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so. Waller might get hurt on warm-up, so the first play of the game, man. And the worst part about that, Howard, is I didn't want Waller. He was not a target, so that was a super flex league. I already had my 2 quarterbacks. It was end of round 7, and I'm like, damn, Waller's still here. All right, I'll take him, man. I'm not reaching for a tight end. I know that maybe that's more 6th round because of Superflex League, but I think I already had 1 running back, 2 quarterbacks, and like 3 good receivers. Well, I thought they were good receivers at the time. It was like Chase, Pittman, and Sutton. I mean, going into the year, I was like, oh yeah, look at that. I think I'm benching. I think I might not even be playing Pittman this week. I think he's right now. I'm playing Garrett Wilson over him, Chase, Devontae Smith. And I have Christian Watson. So I might not play Pittman this week in that league. And Sutton, I'm not even considering, and he probably won't play anyway. So how quickly things change. But yeah, I think I'm going to take the Raiders, and I do not feel good about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a no bet for me if I had to pick.
No bet
for
sure.
Raiders. Arizona against Denver. This is the
shit bowl.
It does. This cracks me up because you're going to end up. It's going to be Brett Ripien under center for Denver, okay, and you're going to have Colt McCoy under center for the Cardinals. Now, Denver's got a great defense. Teams consistently play down to them. Is Denver's offense going to be? I mean, listen, the Cardinals' defense not that great, but Denver's offense totally blows. So for me in this game here, and I wrote this up over at Pickswise, this to me is like a 13-12 game, a 14-13 game, or some bullshit like that. This one here is going to be super close. I don't give a shit who wins. I want to be on the side of the points with Arizona. I'm going to take them 100%.
I'll take Denver.
You can have them.
Yeah, I mean, well, Arizona's not to write home about either. This is two of the worst coaches in the NFL. Backup quarterbacks here. Denver's a tough place to play. They're at home. We did see some light from them last week. Jerry Jeudy, who should have been ejected from the game, but he wound up staying in and getting 3 touchdowns. Bumped an official. So he didn't
take his helmet off though.
Yeah, he did.
No, I'm just fucking with you. I know
Okay.
he did. He was terrible. He should have been out.
Yeah.
He should have been out.
So yeah, I'll take Denver. They got a really good defense. McCoy was under so much duress. I mean, that second half, that was the game I had on, but I was really not paying attention to it. I didn't even realize Hopkins had 7 for 77 until I was looking at the box score. That was how disinterested I was in that game, and I didn't care. And I'm usually not like that, but it was just maybe once Murray went down, I was just done. So my heart was ripped out. But I lean Denver, but I don't feel good about it.
I'm with you as well. I'm Arizona, but I don't feel great about it either. Bengals, Buccaneers. Bengals on the road in Tampa, -3.5 favorites. I'm just going to say this. In my heart of hearts, I feel like the Bengals should win this game, that the Bucs are terrible, that they're awful. But it's fucking Tom Brady and it's at home, and and I don't want to bet against it. So it's a no bet for me, but I like the Bengals here. They're a better team.
They are
100%. They're a better team.
I didn't see, is Brady on the injury report? Because he hurt his thumb late in that game. He hit his thumb on a helmet and was shaking it.
I saw that, but I don't know if he's on the injury report.
Okay.
You think Brady practices on a Wednesday anyway?
No. And the teams lie anyway, so it doesn't matter at this point.
And the teams lie anyway. He is not listed as injured in any fashion.
And then T. Higgins and Boyd practice? Like, I thought Boyd was out. I mean, what the fuck is going on? The T. Higgins thing was fucking ridiculous last week. Bengals have been really good against the spread. I think they're one of the best teams against the spread this year. I don't have the number in front of me, but I remember seeing something like that the other day.
Well, look it up right now while you're
they're
talking.
13-3 against the spread. Their last 16 road games. Yeah, they've been good. I'm gonna take them. I know it might feel like a trap, and maybe Tampa gets the field. Tampa's been awful against the spread too. 1-6-1 against the spread. Their last 8 home games. They're 1-9-1 against the spread. Their last 11 overall. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Also,
but I can't wait.
It's just gonna piss me off when Brady like brings them back for like some backdoor like fucking cover.
Well, or they'll win, and then we'll hear, this is it. Tampa's gonna make a run, because we saw this. They had that win against Seattle in Germany. Oh, here comes Tampa. Then they lose in fucking overtime, and Cleveland blew it. Then they have the miraculous comeback against the Saints where they were down 16-3. Oh, this is the beginning of a run. And then they get smoked in San Francisco. So they'll win this game. Tampa's back. Here we go. Yeah, okay.
Love it. All right. Next game. I think this is my favorite, actually.
Yeah,
next game's my favorite.
I think I know where you're going.
It's Tennessee on the road facing the Chargers. The Chargers are a home favorite here, a 3-point favorite. Derrick Henry, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns. There is no way the Chargers win this game, let alone cover the spread. I will take Tennessee, and I will bet the farm on it.
I want to take the Chargers, but it's so difficult. Every time you think they're going to get it done, they don't. I know they have the pieces now on offense with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen back. And the Titans are susceptible against the pass. You can't run on them. It's unbelievable. You just cannot run on them. And it doesn't matter because the Chargers really don't run Eckler a lot anyway. So it makes sense. But, yeah, they're susceptible against the run. And as long as the Titans keep this game competitive and don't fall behind, they'll be able to keep running Henry. They have not been able to do that a couple times recently, especially against Philly. So I'll take them getting 3, Tennessee getting 3 as well.
Yeah.
I really want to see the fucking Chargers win and make the playoffs. Please.
I do too. They hurt us. They hurt us last year, Adam, and we
went
really
right back to them, and they're going to stab us in the back again. And we're going to go right back to them next year.
Nope.
No, I think I'm done with them after this year, for real. I am done with them. Don't let me pick them next year.
I will try not to. Listen, I will go to balls to the wall for Mike Williams. He is the one guy on that team that I will always use. I love Mike Williams. The rest of them all just go spit. Giants, Washington, Sunday Night Football. Listen, I'm going to take the Commanders. I'm going to lay the points. I don't like laying 4.5 in a divisional game. But man, dude, the Giants just look so bad right now. Barkley's not 100%. The line doesn't do well. The passing game, I don't know. And I think the weather's supposed to be like super shitty too. So, I mean, I feel like the Commanders are going to win this one.
I will take the points. These two teams just faced a couple weeks ago. It was 2020. Everyone loves Washington now. They take advantage of a pretty easy schedule. Again, the Giants have a lot of issues, and I think they're trending downward, but I think they can keep this close. It's a divisional game. The total is low. So, again, if you think it's going to be under, you want to take the points in a situation like this. It's 40.5. Daniel Jones has been good as a road dog. So teams know each other well. I'm going to take the Giants and the points. This should be a field goal game. If not, another tie.
If it's another tie.
That'd be awesome, right? It would not be good.
That would be amazing. I'm 100% now rooting for a tie again.
You can bet on a tie on some books, right?
I'm sure you can. Listen, dude,
you can bet on anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called double zeros on the roulette wheel. Just go ahead, bet the tie. All right, let's wrap it up here. Monday Night Football, the Packers 7-point favorites over the visiting Rams. It's Baker Mayfield's show for Los Angeles. I'll tell you what, man. I don't think we didn't even get a chance to talk about this. I think Sean McVay is in he's got his ideal situation right now because he's got a quarterback who's not bereft of skills. He's not a great quarterback. He can be a serviceable QB. But Sean McVay can yammer in his ear and tell him exactly what to do and exactly what to look for and exactly what could happen if, once they shut off the comms inside the helmet with 15 seconds left on the play clock. He can already feed the information to Baker Mayfield, and he'll just say, this is what you're going to do. This is how it's going to happen. It's a great situation for McVay because he's got a puppet. And does that mean that they're going to end up covering the stuff? I don't know how Green Bay's a fucking 7-point favorite in this one. That makes no sense to me at all because I'm not in love with Green Bay, but I'm going to take them and I'm going to lay the stupid points. I'm going to hate it, but I'm probably going to do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, again, people, I get it. It was a good story, 98 yards, no timeouts. They were shit the rest of the game. Okay, that was that Vegas loss just kind of summed up their season. It was the fourth game that they blown 13-point lead or more, fourth game that they led at the half and lost. They just were not aggressive at all. How the fuck does Derek Carr throw 20 passes? Devontae Adams had 6 fucking targets, bro. You should be fired for that. Devontae Adams made the great one-handed catch with a defender all over him, made another catch with defenders draped all over him. I don't give a fuck if he wasn't open. Throw him the fucking football. I get Josh Jacobs is good, but he had 27 for 9. It wasn't efficient. Why aren't you throwing the football? They came in and played so fucking conservative. So the Rams weren't good the rest of the game. What's Green Bay's weakness against the run? Can the Rams run the football? No. So I got to take Green Bay here, man. Rodgers usually plays well in prime time. It's just the Rams suck, bro. That was kind of a fluke. And I think people are just it was such a good story and it for one night. And, people like that stuff, right? Oh, Baker Mayfield, no one want him. He comes in, hasn't practiced, doesn't know these guys. Cool. Yeah, now you're going to Green Bay. And again, Green Bay's not good. Same sentiments that you had, but I'm taking Green Bay here. It's just the Rams suck. That's why they've been so bad for so long.
So, and I told you, it's all scripted, and they scripted that whole Baker Mayfield thing. Listen, I'm telling you, it's going to happen with Zach Wilson this week for the Jets. They're going to come back. They're going to beat the Lions, and then next week everybody's going to be in on Zach Wilson, and the Jets, and the fucking Jags are going to destroy them.
All right, I can see that. That's a Thursday. Yeah, that's a Thursday night game.
It's a Thursday night game. Yay. All right, well, there you go, folks. Those are our leans towards what we're looking at for this week. As always, Be sure to look for Adam Ronis's article on Pickswise.com for his NBA props on Friday. You can go to Pickswise.com right now in the NFL picks section. You'll see my write-ups for the Chiefs-Texans game, the Dallas Jacksonville game, and what was the other game that I did? Yeah, it was the Cardinals against the Broncos. So you can check that out. Again, for you DFS players out there, Thursday night showdown slate write-up will come out from me on Thursday. On Friday, I'm going to do a special free playbook for everybody out there on for Saturday. It's going to come out on Friday, so you'll have that example lineup Saturday morning, and then you'll also then get the full Sunday playbook there on Saturday.